Lionel Messi isn't the fastest footballer. He isn't the strongest. He doesn't jump the highest. So why do defenders who can stop almost anyone still struggle to stop him? The answer isn't just dribbling or talent. It's something far more difficult to defend. And once you notice it, you'll never watch Messi the same way again. Every defender prepares differently before facing players like Cristiano Ronaldo or Neymar. Against Ronaldo, you expect explosive runs, powerful shots, and dangerous movement inside the box. Against Neymar, you prepare for step-overs, tricks, and unpredictable one-on-one skills. But Messi creates a completely different problem, because before the defender even reacts, Messi has already made his decision. Let's imagine a defender receives one instruction before kickoff. Don't let Messi turn. Simple enough. The ball reaches Messi. The defender presses tightly. Everything is under control. Except, Messi never turns. Instead, with a single touch, he plays the ball forward and starts running into a completely different space. The defender didn't lose because he reacted too slowly. He lost because he was solving yesterday's problem. That's the first secret. Messi doesn't attack defenders. He attacks decisions. Every movement forces opponents to choose. Follow him? Hold the line? Close the passing lane? Step forward? Every option creates another opening, and Messi already knows which one you'll choose. Now compare that with Ronaldo. Cristiano is one of football's greatest athletes. His acceleration, finishing, heading, and shooting make him almost impossible to stop in certain situations. But defenders usually know where the danger is coming from. They expect runs behind the defense. They expect crosses. They expect shots. Stopping him is incredibly difficult. Understanding what he's trying to do usually isn't. Neymar creates a different challenge. He's one of the most skillful dribblers football has ever seen. He beats defenders with creativity few players possess. But many of his moves happen directly in front of defenders. You know the duel is coming. The question is simply whether you can win it. Messi often removes the duel entirely. Watch him receive the ball. Sometimes he barely touches it. Sometimes he walks. Sometimes he looks completely disconnected from the play. But he's collecting information. Every defender's position, every teammate's run, every tiny gap. By the time the pass arrives, the calculation is already finished. This is why many defenders describe Messi differently from everyone else. They don't say he's impossible because he's stronger. They say he's impossible because he never seems to be where you expect. It's like trying to catch someone who already knows your next move. His low center of gravity certainly helps. His close control helps. His acceleration over short distances helps. But thousands of players have one or two of those qualities. Almost nobody combines them with world-class decision-making every single second. That's what separates Messi. Here's something even stranger. The ball often travels less than the defenders do. Messi isn't constantly sprinting. The defenders are. They're the ones changing direction. Recovering. Turning. Accelerating. Again. And again. By the 80th minute, they're exhausted. Messi is still finding spaces nobody else can see. Think back to some of his greatest goals. Many don't begin with incredible dribbles. They begin with one tiny movement, a shoulder drop, a pause, a simple pass. One defender steps out, another shifts across, a gap appears, and suddenly the entire defense collapses. It looks effortless, because the hardest part happened before anyone noticed. So why isn't every superstar defended the same way? Because different players create different problems. Ronaldo overwhelms defenders with physical dominance and elite finishing. Neymar overwhelms them with flair, unpredictability, and one-on-one brilliance. Messi overwhelms them with information. He processes the game faster than almost anyone else. By the time everyone else understands what's happening, he's already gone. That's why defenders don't just fear Messi's left foot. They fear his next decision. Because you can't tackle an idea, you can't mark a prediction, and you certainly can't stop a player who's always one move ahead. So why can't Ronaldo or Neymar do the same thing? Because they're solving different problems. Ronaldo wants to beat you after the ball arrives. Messi starts beating you before he even receives it. Watch Cristiano inside the penalty area. His movement is explosive, powerful, direct. He attacks the space, and then finishes with incredible precision. The defender usually knows what's coming. The challenge is surviving it. Now watch Neymar. He invites defenders into the duel. The closer they get, the more dangerous he becomes. A body feint, a step over, a sudden burst. Everything happens face to face. It's football's version of a magician performing right in front of you. Messi rarely plays that game. He doesn't always want to embarrass defenders. He wants to make them irrelevant. Sometimes, the defender never even gets the chance to tackle him, because Messi has already moved the ball into the space they just left behind. That's why so many defenders describe him differently. Against Ronaldo, you prepare for power. Against Neymar, you prepare for skill. Against Messi, you prepare for uncertainty. And uncertainty is exhausting. Every second you're asking yourself, should I press? Should I wait? Should I follow him? Should I cover the pass? Choose wrong, and the attack is over. Not because Messi ran faster, because he made you think for 1 second too long. There's another reason. Most players react after the defense moves. Messi often causes the movement himself. One small touch, a tiny pause, a glance to the left. Suddenly, 2 defenders shift. A midfielder drops. A passing lane opens. Nothing looked spectacular until the replay. Then you realize everything happened because of that first movement. This is why statistics don't always tell Messi's story. Goals matter, assists matter, dribbles matter. But many of his greatest actions never appear on the score sheet. The defender who left his position, the midfielder who stepped forward, the space that suddenly existed. Messi created all of it, without touching the ball twice. Football has always celebrated speed, strength, skill, power. Messi has all of those, but that's not what made him impossible to stop. His greatest weapon was time. He stole it. From defenders, from entire teams, by making decisions before everyone else. That's why Ronaldo could outjump you. Neymar could outskill you. But Messi could outthink you. And once someone consistently sees the game, one move before everyone else, stopping them becomes almost impossible. Because football isn't always won by the fastest player or the strongest. Sometimes it's won by the player who already knows what you're about to do. That's what made Lionel Messi different. Not just his dribbling, not just his vision, not just his left foot. It was the speed of his mind. Every touch, every glance, every movement was part of a decision made seconds before everyone else could even recognize the opportunity. The greatest defenders in football weren't beaten because they lacked ability. They were beaten because Messi forced them to solve problems he had already solved. That's why his goals often looked simple, his assists looked inevitable, and his performances looked effortless. But behind every effortless moment was a mind processing thousands of possibilities in real time. You can't measure that with sprint speed. You can't measure it with strength. And you certainly can't measure it with highlights alone. It's why coaches spent weeks preparing for him, only to watch their plans disappear in a single second. Because while everyone else was reacting, Messi was creating the reaction, long before the ball ever reached his feet. Maybe that's why so many defenders say the same thing after facing him. It wasn't the dribble they remembered. It wasn't the finish. It was the feeling that he always knew. He knew where the space would appear. He knew who would step out. He knew which choice you'd make before you made it yourself. That's why Lionel Messi isn't remembered as just one of football's greatest dribblers or one of its greatest scorers. He's remembered as one of the greatest thinkers the game has ever seen. And perhaps that's the hardest opponent football will ever create.